Unpopular opinion, but if you give someone something to look at, they're gonna look. Now, you mostly hear girls saying, these guys, they stare at me. But you know what? People look. Guys and girls are going to check you out if there's something that catches the eye. If I have a pump or I wear a tank top, I catch people sometimes looking down at my body because guess what? There is something to see. Guys do not usually have this problem at all because most of the time they're wearing t-shirt and pants and there's nothing even to look at even if the shirts are tight. Now, you should wear what makes you comfortable. No one should just be staring and ogling you. But it is normal for someone to take a look or for someone to catch your eye. If I walk around with a rainbow clown afro, then people are going to look at my hair. Same thing applies, and the original video is a little bit drastic. And yes, men can be creepy, men can suck, but the principle overall still remains the same.
I mean, who allowed you in the gym with that? I guess that's the question that I would ask. How did you walk through the door with that? That would be my question.
I ain't sugarcoat. I don't want to be a mom anymore. I never wanted kids because I was selfish. I didn't want to give up so much of myself. And I didn't realize that I would have to give up 100% of myself, my soul, my body, my sleep. This is the least fun thing I've ever signed up to do. And I didn't sign up to do it. It was an accident. I can't always show up and be the perfect version of myself with no appreciation. How are all these other moms out here being like, oh my gosh, being a mom is such a blessing. I can't wait to get pregnant with number 5. What the
Men, don't pick women like this. This is why you don't pick selfish, egotistical, consumed with themselves, think they're the women. This is why you don't choose them, because even though motherhood is such an amazing gift, not every woman is meant to be a mom. Not every woman is meant to be a mom. And some of them aren't meant to be moms because they are selfish nightmares.
Whenever women come online and complain about the level of attractiveness of the men that they themselves are attracting, I automatically assume it's rage bait. Because there's no way you lack that much self-awareness to think that you are so grand and above and beyond these petty little men that try and speak to you on a daily basis. Most men shoot where they think they're going to score. Let's start there. So if a man is a 5, he's probably going to shoot for other 5s, 6s, 4s, maybe a 7 if he's feeling lucky. Most 5s are not going to shoot for 10s unless they feel like shooting for the moon one day. But on a day-to-day, most men are shooting where they think they're going to score. And yes, he looked at you and said, yeah, that girl's probably on my level. She might say yes to me. And if that offends you, feel free to look in the mirror and change some things. And we have to remember that we are not the ones that set our place in the dating market. We have this idea that we are all 10s out of 10s because I said I'm a 10, so I'm a 10. And that's not up to you. It's actually up to the men. And feel free to ask one to see where you rank, because those ones that are coming online and just asking random men, they are getting comments filled with things that are going to make them very insecure in the future. And I don't wish that on my worst enemy. So ask a trusted male friend, would you?
7-figure salary.
Right.
I need him to be at least 5'10". I feel like that's generous. Most men are 5'10" or above. So I need him to be at least 5'10". I need him to be obviously in very good shape. I need him to have a full head of hair. I want him to have an impeccable wardrobe. I want his suits to be tailored. I want him to look good in greens and blues because those are complementary to what I look good in. Absolutely no jewelry. Absolutely no tattoos.
Okay.
Unless the only tattoo that would be acceptable would be a very small tattoo if he were in a secret society. Never been married. No kids. I want to be his first wife. Our children are going to be his only children. No allergies. Has to like animals.
You would think it's a script, bro.
I would prefer that he's a cat person, but if he's a dog person, that's okay.
Somebody making 7 figures, go do it, your mom. I don't know, bro. Like, bro, she look like paint drying, bro.
I feel like she's trolling, man. maybe this was an interview. This is foolishness. This is foolishness, man. We just have to sit up here and listen to this nonsense. Come on now. Come on now. Now, you know, she just got through talking about knowing your place in the dating market. And here she come talking trash. Bruh.
If women are so emotionally in tuned, so emotionally mature as we say we are, why don't we choose peace? That's a genuine question. Why don't we choose peace over trying to be right? In my opinion, the reason why men and women are so separated is because we don't choose peace.
She didn't know it yet, but she's about to have the worst night of her life. You went on a date with a guy you met a few nights before a party. He'd been super charming, The restaurant had a nice vibe, okay. We laughed, we shared stories, all right. Then came to the question, what do you do for work? Uh-oh. You told him the truth, you're on only... Ooh, Houston, we have a problem. His expression shifted instantly, the warmth disappeared. Duh. He pushed his chair back, stood up, and suddenly the room felt painfully quiet. Without a word, he tossed some cash on the table and walked out. In that moment, you felt small, not because of what you do, but because of how quickly he judged you. Well, yeah, you're an online prostitute. Buddy saw the missile and dodged it like a pro, and you're over here, and he paid for your meal. Like, he didn't go far enough, in my opinion, honestly. You got it so easy. Maybe you should call your father and apologize. That's so tough.
Men have objectified women so much that now it's like almost impossible for them to even be able to perceive the value that a woman actually has.
You will literally defend shaking your ass and showing your tatas off every day. You will defend it and cry and just get mad at any other girl who doesn't want to do that or says something about it. But the second that a man wants you because of that, oh my God, you can't look at me like that. You can't lust over me. No, you're a terrible man. Okay, if it's such a big deal, stop showing your tatas. You know that these men are not going to change, so why the fuck are you giving them exactly what they want and then getting on here and complaining about it? And also harassing women who say that that is weird. It is weird. You are weird. You're weird, okay? Learn it. Stop being mad at all these other girls because they want to cover themselves up.
You know, men do objectify women, but I let them. All right, every time I put on some outfit, I'm like, I'm going to get so many tonight. And I'll never change that about myself. Every time I pick out an outfit, I'm like, oh, the hoes are gonna love this. Like, you did this to me, so I'm gonna continue to do it. You know,
when a man starts to walk alone, it doesn't mean he's broken. It means he's finally dangerous. He's been destroyed. He's been lied to. He's been used. He saw loyalty turn fake and promises shattered like glass. But that pain didn't destroy him. It woke him up. And now his trust has changed. It doesn't belong to the crowd anymore. It belongs to the purpose for peace, for authenticity. He's not chasing attention. He's building in silence, and you might look at him and see loneliness, but that's a mistake. His silence is not sadness. What you call isolation, I call focus. I'm not trying to impress anyone. I've built an empire quietly, patiently, relentlessly. My greatest fear isn't being alone. It's wasting my life on fake love, false friends, empty loyalty. Don't mistake my guard for a cold heart. I'm not unkind. I've just learned the hard way. Being too kind leaves the deepest scars. That is why I move alone.
And I like that one. What you call isolation, I call focus. What you call sadness, I'm locked in. I'm locked in. And this is what modern women simply don't understand. Oh, well, y'all in the house, y'all must be lonely. You're not lonely enough. No, I'm not. Because if you still finding me, I have not separated myself enough. I am not far away from you enough if you still finding me. I need to be all the way away from you. But let me tell you something. When I come up out of this hole, there ain't going to be no more talking to you guys. There ain't going to be helping you guys. There ain't going to be none of that. I'm going to go do what I need to do wherever I need to do it. There's not going to be any pleasantries. No, nothing. It's not going to be because I hate you, because I don't care about you as a human being. I respect you, but I know that you don't respect me. And I know that you don't really like me. I know that because I've seen what you've done online. I've seen that you've been talking about me. And any of my friends and any of the men in the community that I'm around. You don't like us. You come up here talking trash and you still want the benefits of a man. So when I crawl out of this hole that you thought you buried me in, it's going to be you versus me. And I'm going to bet on myself to win. At some point, if you don't want that, then you should say, hey, my bad. Listen, we got off on the wrong foot. We don't have to be friends, but I respect you. We could be acquaintances. If every so often you need help on something like that, we can be partners. We can be business partners. Hey, man, I'll come over and do something for you. But now when I call you and I need you, I'm going to need you to come over and help me as well. I don't need you to come over and help me in no 5, 10, 12 months. I need you to come help me with the same quickness that I help you, the same assistance that I gave to you, and have a good attitude about it. Because when I came over there to assist you and help you out, I had a good attitude about it. That's all men are asking.
For all you married men out there, if you're married and you're miserable, why do you stay?
This is a great question. I think a lot of people would think that it's just the cheaper to keeper mindset, because it is true. When a man gets divorced, he typically loses his house, he loses time with his children, he loses his income, he loses maybe even his retirement plan. So financially, it just makes a lot more sense to stay married. But I don't think most guys are really thinking about that when they're in the marriage. Most of them are just honoring the commitment and believing that they will figure out their problems at some point, believing that she is just as committed to figuring it out as he is. But all too often, that is just a fantasy, and he ends up being completely blindsided by her serving him with the divorce papers, or having that conversation, or cheating on him, or whatever ends up happening to end the marriage. So while it is definitely cheaper to keep her, I think most guys are just honoring their commitment. Most guys truly do love their wives and would rather try and work things out than give up, no matter how painful that is.
A lot of men are problem solvers. That's what they do. That's just, it is what it is. Modern women are ready to leave. And especially when they get that good job or they get that education, then they think they're smart enough to leave. Until they figure out, oh, wait, shoot, the world isn't as forgiving as I thought it was. Maybe my ex did have a point in what he was saying and what he was doing. Shoot, I never knew all of this stuff existed. Wow, how did I not know this? Because he was doing all of it, but he just wasn't bragging about it like you were. He just wasn't throwing it in your face like you were to him. That's where you were going wrong. So now you out there having to do all of this other stuff. That's what I'm saying. So he's probably, like he said, still in the relationship because he feels like, hey, man, maybe the two sides will come together. And if not, I already made a commitment. I got to be a man of my word. I got kids. I got to try to make sure that they grow up, even though I'm not having a great time. I got to make sure that they grow up in a healthy environment so they can be healthy, so they can be strong. It's not about me. It never was about me. It's got to be about my next generation.
To the women out there who were constantly checking their man's phone to see if he's cheating, when was the last time you checked in to see if he was happy? So I had actually seen that question asked on the Dads Matter Everywhere Facebook page, so I wanted to ask you. And no, this is not me condoning a man cheating. This is me asking you ladies to self-reflect. And I have said in past videos that a man does not leave because the love is gone. A man leaves because there's lack of respect. I don't feel that a man is going to leave a woman or cheat on a woman just based off of pure lust. But when he is made to feel invisible and there's no respect, then yes, I think the chances go up much higher for him to act upon that. So ladies, when was the last time you actually checked in with your man to see if he felt admired, to see if he felt respected, versus feeling like he's being controlled or micromanaged? And we actually talk about this in the Harmony community, and ladies, I'm going to tell you, a masculine energy will shut down immediately if all they are met with is this, like a little yiping, ankle-biting chihuahua. And then I know us women, we get anxious when we feel like that connection has disappeared. And ladies, I know from firsthand experience, sometimes we can be so reactive, emotional, and just immediately jump to conclusions. But before you go jumping off the guardrails, I need you to ask yourself, sit down and have a conversation with your man and say, when did we stop choosing each other? So girlfriend, if you are more focused on trying to catch your man slipping versus actually checking the connection, you're already a winner at a losing game.
We don't gotta wait to be cheated on to be heartbroken. I'm heartbroken the moment you was talking about me in a certain way to your friend to diminish my character. I'm heartbroken the moment you paint me out to the kids to be a certain way because you mad. I'm heartbroken the moment that you show me you don't got my back because I could be trying to do something and you ain't even being supportive in a certain way. Like, the heartbreak for a man start based on a lack of loyalty and a lack of respect. So if a woman is disrespecting us and we want to remove ourselves, that's when we checking out of it, because it's like, I'm not about to go back and forth and disrespect you. We thrive off respect and loyalty. So it's like, when we see our women do things that appear to be disloyal, they don't understand loyalty the way we understand loyalty. They are loyal to how they feel in a moment. And their loyalty in most cases is to the end result that best serves them. Whereas though we make sacrifices as men, when you're a good dude, genuine dude, that don't always often benefit us the most.
You want to know why? Where that effort is valued. A relationship is not a solo performance. It's two people choosing to show up for each other. If you want the energy men used to give, start giving the energy that made them want to give it. Just a thought, just the truth. Take it or leave it.
6 lies we hear about men in 60 seconds. Let's do it. Number 1, men don't have feelings. Lie. We have plenty of feelings. We just store them in the same folder as our childhood memories and deal with them once every fiscal quarter. Number 2, men don't need affection. Please. One forehead kiss from Justice and I start acting like I just got recruited to Hogwarts. Affection turns us into golden retrievers with jobs, my guy. Number 3, men are complicated. False. Men are simple. Period. If you feed us, respect us, love us, and do your best to not blindside us with emotional essays at 11 p.m., you got yourself a loyal, peaceful man for life. He's a good man, Savannah. Number 4, men are emotionally unavailable. Nah, most of us are just emotionally illiterate. We feel everything, we just don't have the vocabulary or Wi-Fi signal to express it in that moment. And that is our responsibility. We get that. Number 5, men don't want commitment. In actuality, we want peace, stability, and we don't want to commit to chaos disguised as personality. Number 6, men actually have it easy. Yeah, alright. Try carrying pressure, responsibility, leadership, expectations, and silence while still pretending like we got it all handled. And we just make survival look, casual. To wrap all of this up, men aren't mysterious creatures. We're straightforward, loyal, and simple. We just live in a world that complicates everything around us. Boom! Saved you confusion, assumptions, and one unnecessary gender debate. Now Venmo or PayPal me $5.
Women are less satisfied in their relationships. They're less satisfied at work, and they're more discontented on their own. Perhaps they'd be more satisfied if they didn't have to deal with men whatsoever, since men are so often presumed to be the cause of their discontent. In which case, relationships that don't involve men would presumably be the happiest and most harmonious of all, right? Actually, it turns out that the divorce rate among lesbians is even higher than the divorce rate among straights, and it's already pretty high among straights. How men might be to blame for that one, I'm not sure, but I imagine an explanation exists somewhere. Perhaps it's internalized homophobia as a result of participating in a toxic, misogynistic culture. However, given the fact that the divorce rate among gays is significantly lower than the rate among the other two groups, this might be a tough sell. Do you get the point? Let's return to the original topic. We can now see how many of the reports of women's lower relationship satisfaction relative to men are functionally misleading. It's not that they're not true. It's that they all kind of assume that this increased discontentment is a deviation from the norm, that it's unique to this context, to their relationships with men. However, we've seen evidence that this might not be the case. We see lower satisfaction in women in numerous different contexts relative to men.
Well, it's going to be the man's problem. You know it's going to be the man that caused the issue. It's probably the man that got in my brain as a lesbian and made me think this and made me say this to you. As a matter of fact, if I wouldn't have watched that music video, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have said that. Anything to avoid accountability. I mean, just when you think you have a modern woman dead to rights and she's going to be forced to take accountability, she ain't going to do it. She ain't gonna do it. Somehow she's gonna Simone Biles, flip, twist, tuck, and turn up out of accountability. You watch and see what I just see what I tell.
Forgot I'm happily married and pregnant for a second there. We're all single at a Jonas Brothers concert, married woman, tanned and shaved, also married with 5 kids. We can do it. Actually shaved my whole body and I'm married with 3 kids. Is it happily if it's not to Joe Jonas? Solid point. I'm married with 3 kids. I'm gonna go to his concert on Saturday with my daughter. Just gotta look my best when in the presence of Joe. Dozens more of comments just like this of other married women encouraging each other to go out and be a.
And just for the record, a lot of women don't be the big bosses and the big ballers that they claim to be. Let's talk about it. I just watched a podcast of females saying that a lot of women who don't make over $50,000 a year should not be asking a man, looking him up and down, asking him about his finances and what he make a year. Should not be giving orders and demands that he needs to make above a certain amount a year. When you, my dear, don't even make over $50,000 a year. Now, this is a no judgment zone and I'm not judging people based off their salary. I'm just saying, humble yourself, queen. Humble yourself, queen. Because I fear that man who makes well over $50,000 a year might end up humbling you. Ooh. And without even being funny, I think this is a very serious topic that has to be addressed because a lot of women live life based off of what they want and not off what they provide, for the simple fact that we become so accustomed to the idea that because men are supposed to be providers and that they are expected to be providers, that they should be the only ones contributing and bringing something to the table. All of those days of I am the table so I don't have to bring nothing to put on the table are over, because a lot of women ain't even bringing the table these days. You got all these kids, you want men to accept your children, you come than just the mouth and the demands that you have for the man. Evaluate and humble yourself, queen. Let me know what y'all thinking about that.
As women and as girls, things can happen to our bodies that are not our choice. And I wouldn't have been able to do this without employing a woman's right to choose.
So sad. They're all cheering. They're cheering for the death of a baby that she's celebrating and crediting with her holding this award. I mean, it's completely picturesque, clutching that golden trophy that's going to turn into dust. Like, that does not have an eternal soul, that has no, human value, as the reason she was glad that she killed her baby. So that is, I think, a perfect to a T depiction, a living story, a living parable of toxic femininity that I prize so much. My career, my physical beauty, my success, that I would literally kill a child and thank the death of my child for some sort of worldly accolade, like this golden calf, basically.
If some guy is secretly texting your woman, you need to always remember this. Number 1, she left the door open.
No, the first step is not to blame the woman, but science cannot be know what it actually is. I'm Max Butterfield, doctor. Max Butterfield. I study this kind of thing for a living. 3 science-backed facts you should know. Number 1, the very first thing you should do if you find out your partner is secretly texting someone else is verify their intent and seek to understand the context. Maybe it's the DoorDash driver. Maybe it's a long-lost cousin. Maybe they are in fact cheating on you, but you best find out before you do anything rash. Number 2, the other thing you're going to want to do is address that issue directly with your partner rather than seeking confrontation with the person doing the texting. The person doing the texting has free will. Your partner may not have left that door open at all, and the very last thing you want to do is rush to escalate the situation. And then finally, number 3, if it turns out your partner is secretly texting with someone else, you're going to want to set boundaries and expectations. And science can help you do that too. If you'd like to know more about that, follow me for more. And oh, by the way, drop the influencers.
What are we talking about right here? I'm a little bit confused as to what the disconnect is. If she said, if your wife is secretly texting, what's the disconnect? Would you be secretly texting somebody from DoorDash? Would you be secretly texting a long lost cousin? Why? Are you trying to have them come and stay with you? If she's secretly texting a man, why are you secretly doing that? Full stop. That's where it ends right there. You don't need any science for that. I mean, sure, if she's texting a man, like secretly texting a man, like it's a random guy, you say, what's, who's this guy? Who's first of all, she'd probably tell you, but second of all, you know, I can see if it was like a surprise or something like that. But if she's secretly, if this is going on past your birthday, right? If she's been texting this guy and your birthday, unless she's planning an elaborate birthday, what, a month or so, couple of months before your birthday, a month or so, a couple of months before Christmas, I got a huge gift. I'm trying to get it all together. And I'm just going around trying to make sure that everything is how it is. And I might go outside and, hey, are you close by? Man, hurry up. We about to open presents. I've seen that before, where you waiting on the pack. Now, sometimes it never arrives, and so you got to give him a piece of paper and said, hey, if it came today, this is what you would be getting. I can see it from that example. But if it's New Year's and it come and gone, Valentine's Day then come and gone, any special occasion then come and gone, and she's still texting this person, what surprise do I need all year round? Is everything okay? And it might not even be that she's cheating. If you're continuing to text somebody secretly, is everything okay? Are we good financially? Is the house good? Are the kids good? Who is that you're texting? Is that our long lost family member? Are they good? At some point in time, she need to tell him what's up. And I guess what you're saying is what you would ascertain. But once again, if it was DoorDash, you wouldn't be secretly texting him. What would you be secretly texting a DoorDash driver for? And all that other stuff. The point is, we don't need science for this.
Most dangerous person in the world, we're producing millions of them, and that is a lonely, young, broke male. Dogs are happiest when they're lying on top of you. The worst thing you can do to a dog is leave it alone all day. And what we're doing to young people is they are leaving others and themselves alone all day. We're separating from each other. We're becoming less social. And there's a group of men receive well at school, don't find a source of pride. Auto shop, metal shop, wood shop's gone away. They go online to date. The majority of them get rejected. If you're average attractiveness in online dating, you have to swipe right 200 times to get a single coffee. If you set up 5 coffees, you'll get 1 will actually show up. 4 of the 5 will ghost you and decide later on they don't actually want to meet up. So a young man of average attractiveness in online dating has to swipe right 1,000 times. So he gets validation for 1 coffee. He gets validation that he has no worth to the other. He loses confidence. He starts engaging with people because he has less opportunities for random encounters where he has to develop those skills. And slowly but surely he sequesters from society. And at some point, he just is not really savable. He just never develops those skills around friendship or romantic relationships. In the United States, 1 in 7 men doesn't have a single friend. 1 in 4 can't name a best friend.
I wonder, because I know we're not going to blame the women. I know they're not at fault for any of this, regardless of how they be treating men and talking to men and talking about men, how no men are attractive. But I done seen 30 baddies just tripping out my front door. I done walked out, smelled the leaves, and I saw a baddie just grow right there in front of me outside of the leaves. You know what I mean? I looked up, saw a dog turned into a girl was a baddie. You know, I saw a frog hopping down the street. Frog, for some reason, hit the back of a bumper of a car. All of a sudden, turned into a baddie. They just baddies on baddies on baddies on baddies. They're everywhere, right? Saw a snake, possum, slithering down the road, scurrying across the road. Ran into another rodent ran into another mouse ran into the grass sprouted up, hit a tree sprouted up, hit the sky, and down from the clouds came another baddie. All that chain reaction nonsense, I know you see it all the time. And then they start disrespecting men. Well, I'm beautiful, I'm pretty, I'm gorgeous. Woman had the nerve to say, even the average baddies, what a stupid statement to make. What? So now you're saying there's actual pretty women and then there's average women, like we've been saying. But of course, modern women will never admit, no, some of these women are ugly. Some of these women are not really all that great to look at. And they know that. They know that. But it's going to be a man's problem. The wood shops are in a man's garage. All that tool shop, it's not out in the open. Because y'all will come there and try to mess up my stuff. So I start working and moving stuff to a secure location. You know, some of these brothers got gates and fences around their house. Look like a compound. Oh, it's a little bit overkill. It sure is, isn't it? Unfortunately, it's not being taken down. I'm not going to take it down. A lot of these brothers live out in the country. I come into town from time to time, every so often, but I stay out here away from all the hustle and the bustle and all the foolishness. I'm by myself, so I can pretty much do anything that I want. I can walk out on my land. I can ride. I can do anything that I want. Sit out here, chill in a fire pit, smoke a cigar, look at the nighttime sky, and enjoy it. Man, that's beautiful. Invite my buddies over. We sit around and talk. We cut up. Leave everything outside and come and clean it up the next morning. No HOA, no nothing to tell me what to do, where to go, how many cars I can have in my yard. It's beautiful. I have a huge man cave. My whole house is a man cave. It's all mine. Blissful, peaceful. That's where the wood shop went. That's where the tool shop went. That's where all of the men's hobbies went, into my home, in my garage, in one of the back rooms that I have as a spare. That's where that went. But once again, y'all going to continue to blame men for women acting stupid in society, for women thinking they're more than they actually are. Not a man. If a man men continue to have to take all of the accountability. At what point in time are we going to hand a woman something and they say, yeah, that's mine? I need to fix that.
We keep telling black women to submit to men that don't have their life together. How can you submit? How can you submit to a man who doesn't submit to God? You, black women, are in record numbers going to college. We're opening degrees. We're getting accolades. We're running nonprofits. There's a large portion of black women who are educating themselves and taking their lives to the next level, while the black men are not reaching those goals. They're not meeting us on those levels.
First of all, you sat up there and gave me a 30-minute dissertation on how great black women were doing, but the second
I support my black women. That's all.
I support black women. I
support black men.
Here's the thing.
Look,
the majority of my clients, the majority of my executive staff, my man Ricardo Cordial, who's been a client of mine for 5 years, he will tell you the majority of the people in my executive team are black women. I have put more black women in the 1% than Nick Cannon with a bag of Viagra. So this is not about supporting black women.
It's
not you versus me. It's you and me. Right? We need to start circling our wagons amongst each other. We need to start circling our dollars amongst each other. The Jews do it. The Italians do it. The Chinese do it. When black people do it, they look at you like you crazy. There is no reason that FUBU should not still be hot today. Y'all rocking Ralph Lauren. If you want a solution is ignore the rhetoric, ignore the propaganda, and realize that I am not your competition. I am your completion. I am the one that's supposed to protect you, but the Bible says it is better for a man to live in the roof of his house than be in a house with a quarrelsome woman. Calm all that down. If you are so talented, so gifted, so degreed, so smart, how you let dumb niggas nut up in you and make babies?
this brother Cochran. His man just let off an atomic bomb and she's catching some of the aftershock. Here she's hiding from the truth and reality of that quote. Let's get back up in it.
You over here talking?
Without a ring, without any type of commitment, and then you go and say that you don't like the white man, he's oppressing you, this, that, and the third, but you go to your white boss, then you go to your daddy government, and you allow daddy government to go tax this man instead of working it out with this man. And if this man was a deadbeat, you should have known that before you shed your clothes like Country Crock and spread your legs.
On the other side of the coin, they're going to think that, you know, we are men that don't love and support women, which is anything from the case. Shit, you'll see women right down up in here in the comment section that understand exactly what it is that you said, that listen to exactly the things that I say, that listen to the exact same things that a Kevin Samuel say, and they goddamn agree. Because we all want to see more people together. But there has to be a coaching from the mainstream rhetoric that has led so many of these hive-minded lemmings away.
Running a nonprofit and still running your mouth. Just say you're going to get knocked down by Chad and let that be it. I don't want to commit to doing what my man asked me to do. I don't want to commit to a goal, a shared vision, like I said that I did. What I want to do at the beginning of every year is have a meeting with my husband, my significant other, on what we're going to do for the year. And then it's his responsibility to go out and execute that. It's his responsibility to go out and execute my goals that I've set for myself. Help me execute those. Where does a man come in? Oh, helping me out. Helping me achieve my goals. Okay, well, if he helps you achieve your goals, does he get anything? No, because he's not going to get my money. He can work on his goals in his spare time. He's a man. He needs to work to protect and provide. So all his money that he's working for in his spare time, after working on my stuff, needs to go to the household. But the money that I work for needs to go to me. And unless it's that dynamic, then I'm not going to be listening to him. Okay. All right.
The kind of woman you want has been imprinted on by a man before you. And the man before you that had her heart, he had her mind. In order to get her mind, he had to keep her mind occupied. You don't keep her mind occupied with flowers, chocolates, and love letters. You keep her mind occupied with other women. Women care about the opinion of other women. Your woman wants to be with the man who other women want to shebang-a-bang. Don't get upset because you think it's not right and that's not the way. I don't want to talk about your morals at this, because again, if you decide to go through with cheating or not, that's up to you. The fact of the matter is she needs to know that you will leave her. The most powerful Uno reverse card any man can play is the presence of absence. I'm telling you what, I've dealt with women that I like a lot, but I have more respect for myself than sit around and continue to deal with their bull. You don't announce when you're breaking out. You just break out. And when you break out, make sure you show up with one that's better than the one you had.
Women are like children, not in age, but in accountability. They react instead of reflect. They blame instead of repair. They explode emotionally and then expect you to clean up the mess. That's why I created a solution at the end. And if a man isn't careful, he slowly becomes her parent, not her partner. He starts managing moods, avoiding topics, walking on eggshells just to keep peace. That's not leadership. That's survival. A grown man does not build with someone who refuses to grow. He doesn't negotiate with tantrums. He doesn't chase clarity from chaos. He chooses a woman who can self-regulate, who can listen without attacking, who can disagree without disrespect, who can take responsibility without collapsing. Because the role of a man is to lead a family, not babysit an adult. He looks for emotional stability, not drama. He looks for solutions, not scenes. He looks for growth, not excuses. He looks for cooperation, not constant conflict. He looks for maturity, not mood swings. He looks for peace that multiplies his life. Because chaos is expensive. Because stability is rare. Because a man deserves rest at home. Men who use our guides don't tolerate emotional immaturity. They build standards that filter it out. Comment mind, and I'll send you the guides.
Y'all, the other day I made a video telling women with your husband is a responsibility, not a reward, and I had some questions. To be expected. And I already know some men see that and like, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Thank you for speaking up. Well, let's talk about it for a second, because you better be a man submitted to God before you expect a woman to submit to you. And that includes this. And a man who leads with authority and a man who leads with obedience, not his ego. And you ladies that like to hold it over your man's head, over like control and manipulation because you're not getting your way and you want to rule the roost and control the home. No, that is called the Jezebel. So when you are consistently showing affection, attraction, that safety, there is no room for resentment to grow. And we talk about this inside the Harmony community. It's almost as if like culture has told women nowadays, oh, intimacy only comes out on anniversaries and birthdays. So again, I am speaking to a godly marriage, a godly relationship. So ladies, my call to action to you is less of this and more blowjobs. Yes, I just said that.
That relationship gonna be dead if he got to beg for some.
I don't think women are built to deal with men's emotions.
But I handle yours.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. What do you mean?
I'm not saying you don't listen. That's not what I'm saying. A man is very afraid to share all of his emotions with his wife because there is a cost to it.
How so?
If I tell you that I'm scared or I'm nervous or something in the business has me shook, in the moment you might be like, hey, that's okay. But deep down inside, there's a part of you that starts to feel unsafe. And that shows up in different ways. It'll start to show up in the lack of connection. It'll start to show up in going to old patterns because you're trying to protect yourself. Sometimes I'm afraid to tell you if there's financial issues or the business isn't running the way it could be, because if I create scarcity or fear in you, then I also have to clear that up. It creates more work for me.
Yeah.
So sometimes I would rather not say anything at all. And this is why so many men just choose not to talk.
Yeah, so a lot of women assume that they're emotional and their husband isn't. The truth is your husband is possibly even more emotional than you. He's just less verbal. It makes it hard for him to really reveal when he's struggling, when he's tempted, when he's scared, when he's anxious. The result is if you have a woman who thinks that she is more emotionally mature, she starts to judge him. And the result is you will never get him to come out of his shell, because at the end of the day, you won't go into it with him.
Women say the bar is literally on the floor for them when it comes to dating. The bar is in hell for men. Men don't even get a thank you when they go out on a date with a woman and pay for the entire thing, drive them there, buy them whatever they want. Like, it's ridiculous. The bar for men is literally in hell. They get nothing. And most women, for some reason, still only make it about them. They don't realize that for them, it might feel like they're getting nothing out of dating, but men literally have to give to get nothing out of dating. Do you see where I'm going with this? So share this with a woman so she can kind of see that as well a bit.
So you're telling me that a woman has to go work like a man every day, and a man goes work and he's tired when he gets home. A woman's not tired. She has to clean, cook, do the dishes, do the laundry. Are you kidding me?
Why don't you want to do that?
What are you talking about? Why don't I want to do it? You know how fucking tiring that is? Have you done that?
First of all, I do it every day.
First of all, yelling doesn't mean you're winning an argument. It's a sign of low intelligence. You can lower your voice and speak to me. I'm sitting right here. Men have different responsibilities. So all this, I cook and I clean and yeah, that's part of your function. But when your tire is flat, my function is to make sure you have a new tire.
But
when your car need an oil change, it's my job to make sure these people ain't ripping you off. We have different duties and functions and responsibilities. And if you don't love your duty, your function, your responsibility, you're not fit to be a wife. Period.
Have you ever asked that man why he was so tired? You ever ask him what he does? Like what his job is exactly that makes him tired? Have you ever inquired about that? Or do you just say, oh, well, he does this in general? There's a lot of women that don't even know what their husband does. I just know he goes to work. He works here. He works in this industry. And then he just comes home with a paycheck. That's about it. That's about all they know about their husband's job. Really, on the level of a kid. Oh, my dad fights fires. Oh, how does he fight fires? Because it's easy enough to say he fights fires. Oh, it's easy to fight a fire. Just pull out a fire hose and just turn it on and spray the water. That should put the fire out. For a regular person that doesn't know anything about firefighting, then that would be the answer. That would be the answer. You throw a bucket of water on fire and it doesn't go out. And now you're trying to figure out why. There's different methods of fighting fire, different fires, right? And you have to understand. And you don't have to understand it you should as a regular person, but most people don't, right? What I'm trying to say is there's more to a man's job that might make him a lot more tired than you. Like I said, statistically speaking, and especially if a man is married, he's going to work more hours, and he's going to work more, and he's going to work longer hours than the woman, statistically speaking, right? So he's going to start working more, and he's going to be out of the house more because he's at the job trying to make more money for you and the family. He's going into the mode of providing, right? So he's probably going to be tired. Why are you tired? What kind of work do you do? So maybe you can help him. So when he gets home, he can help you. But of course, y'all are so focused on yourself that that's not even an option. Just help me before I even think about helping you. And if I have any more energy, then maybe, just maybe, I'll throw you a bone.
I heard someone say, a woman falls in love with how a man treats her and falls out of love for the exact same reason. A man never loses to another man. He loses to himself.
Videos like this are the reason that you can never convince me that Western women aren't the definition of narcissism. Notice how they always speak from the position of the guy always losing the girl and never the girl losing.
Fix that type of woman, bro. You outgrow her. Respect isn't built on silence. It's built on correction that gets received, not rejected. See, a real one will check herself. She'll hear you out, process it, level up. That's wifey material, not an emotional toddler. If she can't be corrected, she can't be trusted. Cause the moment life gets real, she'll rather argue than adapt. She'll call you toxic. She'll say you so manipulative because you told her the truth. See, modern women don't hate lies. They hate accountability. When you correct her and she get defensive, it ain't about the point you made. No, it's about the power she feels she's losing. She'll hit you with the, you're becoming controlling line. Nah, bro, you're just setting standards. She just ain't used to discipline, only attention. She don't want to grow, bro. She want to be right. And every time you correct her, she act like you attacked her ego. That's not love. That's pride in heels. A woman who can't be corrected, you can't lead her. She'll fight you for the steering wheel, then crash and then blame you. If she flips every time you call her out, you ain't in love, bro. You're in trouble with lipstick on. Never marry a woman who can't be corrected, period. Now don't let this go over your head. Straight up.